bazzeg, eső lesz a versenyen, baszki, ez nagyon rossz. Na. Próbáljuk ezt a fronton mindig.
Everyone ready? Okay, let's go. Then as he gets himself onto the top spot for now. But Martin, that's what to say about that as well. Fair. As he goes through then into sector 3. He's found a couple of tenths, but he's gone wide there as well. Three tenths. He managed to keep it on the in the track limits at least for the time being. That is, as we go through then into the next couple of corners as well. There's very slow Williams there into turn 1. That's causing a few yellow flags, and the same for Smithy as well. Then of course is now going back into the pit lane. Then and that Mercedes has gone through them. Here comes the other Mercedes then of Marski. Can he improve? Then he goes up to P2. He takes back P2 with a 16.9. Then Stephen Anthony's on a 17.0. Puts himself P3 on the second row of the grid. Then speed with San joining him then in P4. Rosa Sky then is P5 for now. Then is he coming back to the pits or is he on a flying lap? Then I think he's coming back into the pit lane there. So you've got to watch out the pit entry on this one. As Jay has done a 17.7, P7 as well. Goodness me, there's too many 7s there. But just getting out of the way there, very nice to even knock them the power through, which is back on his outlap. Then Housy's on track as well then for the Aston Martin outfit. Then let's see what Housy's going to be up to then as we go through into sector 3. Then a 55.1 then for the second sector split time. As we go through into the final sector for Housey, then hopefully there's going to be a good lap on the board then for his first outing, then setting his sights then for the next lap. Of course, 10 minutes to go then qualifying here then for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Then round that final corner we go then for Housey up to the line. It's going to be P6 there with a 17.4, then puts himself in the mix then onto row 3 for now. Stead's doing a few practice race runs, I think, there on the medium compound tyres. Then he seems to be going around very casually there, enjoying himself with the medium compounds. But it's not in the not in the Grand Prix just yet. Then here comes Winnie, and Winnie is flicking it through into sector 3. Then he is going pretty quick indeed. Then a 54.9. Then in the second sector split as well. Then and now heading into the last 2 turns. Then to finish off the lap, like turn 1 and 2, almost a carbon copy. Then going left first, then going right, then into the final corner we go. Then round that final corner, making sure you don't hit the inside wall, which I've done plenty of times. And here comes Winnie then to finish off the lap then, and it's going to be P4. So Ferrari looking very strong here in Hungary then with a 17.2 for Winnie, then P4 in the second row of the grid. Smithy Almighty currently holding on to pole position here. Wow. Really stuff. Liam's back out on circuit. Then Liam has got himself going again. Then after that, whatever happened there with that collision there, as we go up the hill, then Fallon then is looking to set himself his first time on the board as well, going through into sector 2 is 27.3 in the first split. Then we've got yellow flags out there for somebody. It's a Kick Sauber. That's Stead, I think, just getting out of the way. Then that's all right. Then that's all good. So long as Stead is out of the way, it's not too bad then, because of course they've been compound tyres. I'm not sure they're going to be the best tyre at the moment compared to those who are flying around on the soft compound tyres, that is. But we'll wait and see then what Stead has got in his locker then for the rest of his qualifying session. Vintage is going through into sector 3. Then let's see what the Haas driver can do now, flying through. Then we've got a couple of drivers then to finish off more laps, I think, there as well. Then as Reflection's gone fastest with a 15.9. Then that is fantastic. 17 of Reflection's currently holding onto that pole position once again. Then here comes Vintage to finish off that. So McLaren ahead of us as well. Then where is Ballin going to go then? Ballin is, well, Vintage is P11. Where is Ballin? Ballin is gone P6, goodness me then. I thought that was Ballin. It was San actually starting off a lap then, wasn't it? I've got the McLarens mixed up there. Ballin goes P6 then at his home Grand Prix as well. 17.2. Puts himself just 3 thousandths away then from that P5 position. Then he's on the what row is that? The third row with then, going to speak. Yellow flags, and I think that was just a few cars coming through into this part of the circuit there as well. Instead, then have a bit of an issue with the entry to the pits as well. A bit of a dodgy entry to the pits, that is, as we go through for Styles. Then Styles going purple then in sector 2, but he's not got much battery left then in that racing ball as we go through into the final couple of corners. Let's see what Styles can do on his first actually live attempt, I should say, because it was the first time was invalidated. And Dynamo Dan jumps up into P3 with a 16.8 then for Williams. Then where is he going to finish? Then it is Styles though, and they come up to the line for Styles. What's it going to be? It's P2 with a 16.0, and that is pretty impressive then from Styles. Then onto the front row of the grid. Then only a few thousand separating him and Reflection as well there. Brilliant stuff indeed. Mr. Really up to P6 then for the Alpine machines. Somebody else done that with this to a 64, then puts himself on the second row of the Fantastic. The sun that he used to get out of that Haas car coming through, then goodness me. And has he done? Yes, he has done. Wow. He's hotting up here in Hungary and then totting up in the street as well, to be fair. It's already too much comments going on for me then. But as we head through then into sector 2 for Sky. He's found 2 tenths already, then into turn 4, then turn 5 is where it gets tricky then as we go through then into that loop then, and now into the chicane then of sector 2 then here into the pit lane as well. Then Real Ashton then is going through then into sector 3 momentarily. We'll come back to Sky in just a jiffy then as Real Ashton has found 3 tenths of a second there in this current lap as well. Then now one more sector to go then for the Red Bull driver. Then let's see what it's going to be then as we head into the final couple of corners. Bit wide there, but he's managed to regain it then on the exit as we go through then into the final turn then for the Red Bull team. Let's see what it's going to be then from Real Ashton, currently P15, and where is he going to go then? He's going to go up to P10 with a 17.1. Good stuff indeed from Real Ashton there as well. Then fantastic qualifying as we've got Housie back up. So here comes Ross Sky. Then Ross Sky improves then by 3.5 tenths there, I should say, to 17.011, and puts himself P7 then. Team, good stuff indeed. How's he back out circuit? And I think he's cruising back round then. Vintage then has finished off lap. He's P17 at the moment, an 18.1 for the Vintage as it stands. But again, still time for Tanker. He's coming out now, 6 minutes to go of the session. It's his first outing onto track as well then. So a bit of a late one then for Ducanco there, but he's got himself going. The McLaren is getting wheeled back into the pit lane, then Housie then coming back to the pits as well, I believe. So we've got same for Real Ashton, then Ross Sky just finishing his lap as well. And then we've got Marsky then, who is on the circuit once again then for the Mercedes team, then heading through into sector 2. Then what's the timing split's going to say? Then he's gained half a tenth of a second then in the first sector. Then there is still time to find then for Marsky then in this second sector, and of course the third sector as well. There's 3 sectors around here if you didn't know. Usually that's the case then in most Grand Prix racing. But that's a fun fact for you if you didn't know that. But I'm pretty sure most people who are watching, listening, you know that as me. Anyway, but there we go. Here comes Marsky then into sector 3 now. Let's see what the timing split is going to say. All that back in, trying to step out there as we go across the line. He's got 1.5 tenths in hand there as well then for Marsky. That will put him ahead of Dynamo Dan then as it stands. Can he find some more time then in this final sector then to finish off as Real Ashton retired in the pit lane? He is done and dusted in qualifying then. Is Real Ashton then round that final quarter for Marsky then. What's it going to be then for the Mercedes driver as we cross that line once again then? Mercedes then up to P4 then a 16.5, then he found 4 tenths of a second. He found 3 tenths of a second in that final sector alone then for Marsky. Brilliant stuff indeed then for the Mercedes driver then onto the second row of the grid then as it stands. Evening lads says, or evening boys says Housie as well then. Good luck indeed as well then for all the drivers who are taking part tonight then as well. We're going to have a exciting Grand Prix, imagine. Usually is around this Hungary ring, isn't it? But there we go then. Stephen Anthony is back out on circuit then in the Williams end, going into turn 1. Then he's down to P10 after that first outing, but he's going again then to try and improve with 4 minutes left of the session. Then Ballint also on circuit as well. That's going through into sector 3. We'll come back to Stephen Anthony in just a jiffy as here comes Ballint then rounding into sector 3. Then he's found half a second, then that will bump him up the order pretty impressively indeed. Can he gain even more then into the final sector? We go and then round that final couple of corners we go for the McLaren outfit, and heading into that final turn now then for Ballint. Then let's see what it's going to be then. It's going to be a pretty big improvement and a pretty big jump up the order as well. Then it's quite close in the midfield here, but here comes Ballint. Then what's going to be? It's P3 with a 16.4. Fantastic stuff indeed. And onto the second row of the grid, and that's an all McLaren second row of the grid as it stands. That is, of course, there's still time for that to change. Stephen Anthony then drifting it through into sector 3. Then he's found half a tenth of a second there. That will put him into put him in the range then of the top 9 and top 8, I believe it is actually, as we go through into the final couple of corners then for Stephen Anthony. Then let's see what it's going to be for Williams then as we fly through then into that final corner. 3 minutes left of qualifying here, and rounding that final corner we go then for Stephen Anthony. Then what's it going to be? Up to the line then? It's P9 then 27.0 then on the dot then almost for the Williams driver, then for the Anthony I should say, as we go through then into 3 minutes left to qualify, and then 3 minutes to sort out the rest of the order then as we go through into the dying embers I should say of qualifying now. But of course we've got 35 laps of action then to unfold in front of us as we go through. What is that Williams? What is that Ferrari doing? I thought he was going to get in the way then of Jake the Slayer. Then he might have got himself, he did give him the eye line of Jake the Slayer then, because he's unfortunately had to have found him the lap time. as here comes Mr. Elite. Mr. Elite then is flying around then to finish off his probably his final run then in qualifying here as we go around that front corner for the final time for the Alpine outfit. And here comes Mr. Elite now. It's going to be P5 then for Mr. Elite then at the 16.4. Away then from Sand as well in that P4 position as it stands as well. Then brilliant stuff indeed. Mr. Reed then looking pretty good here as we go through then into the last knockings of qualifying. Now 2 minutes left to go here, and there's a lot of action out on track.
We're set.
17-0. So it's quite close indeed. Then Winnie's out on circuit then looking to improve on that 17-2. Then Housey then heading through into the final couple of corners as well. What can Housey muster up then in this final qualifying run then? 1.5 minutes to go in qualifying here. That lovely pink helmet, very much standing out then to the Aston Martin green. But here comes Housey then across the line. What's it going to be? It's P9 with a 16.8 then for Housey. Puts himself into the top 10 quite comfortably indeed as well then for the Aston Martin team. Then good stuff indeed. And Rosa Sky starting off a lap as well. Then Mushroom is coming back through. I believe he's finished then in qualifying. I'm not quite sure. There's somebody with a very loud engine then outside my window. Then here comes Winnie. And Winnie then has found 0.6 of a second then heading into sector 3. Then that will put him very much into the mix there with the likes of Marsky and Mr. Elite, I'd imagine. Then potentially San as well. Then let's see what Winnie can do then and replicate his earlier qualifying run where he put himself P4. Heading round that final corner we go now for Winnie. Then let's see what it's going to be then on the timing sheets. Then here comes the Ferrari then up to the line. Then it's going to be P6 with a 16.4 as well. My goodness me. There's lots of 16.4s. There's lots of 17.0s out there. There's quite a few. A gaggle then, a gaggle of groups, then a gaggle of cars. Then as San improves to a 16.2, then puts himself P3 here. McLaren looking pretty strong out there at the moment. I think that's a Red Bull coming back into the pit lane, but Styles is not coming back into the pit lane just yet. Then here comes Styles then around in that final corner. Can he steal away that pole position? Yes, he can. Then he's got himself on pole position then for the Hungarian Grand Prix. For now, that is, because of course this man here might have something to say about that as well. Then as Reflection heads into sector 3 as well. Then we'll come back to that then, because just at the moment we've got Rosa Sky. Where is he? There he is. I thought that yellow flag was for him, but it's not for Rosa Sky. Then Rosa Sky jumps up to P9. Then the McLaren, then the balance starting off a lap. Then where is Reflection going to go? Then Reflection rounding that final corner as Dynamo Dan jumps up to P4. Then here comes Reflection. Can he steal back pole position? No, he can't. Then so Reflection's going to be P2 at best. Then and Styles could be on pole position here, but we've got still some runners to finish off their laps as well. And Winnie is going to be done and dusted. He's P8 at best. Then Marsky jumps up to P3 onto the second row of the grid. Then Mercedes are flying out there as well. Goodness me. Here comes San. Then San, I think, is abandoned the time then. So Ballot then is his next challenger as well. Then as we go through into sector 2 for Ballot. Then where is Rosa Sky? Then he's coming back to the pits, I would imagine, there as well. Then Stead is on track then on the soft compound tyres this time as well. We'll come back to him because Hungary Styles then is looking like he's going to be on pole position here then for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll wait and see. I'm not sure where to look. Goddard's is done then, unfortunately. Then for Goddard's then he's going to be P19. Stead could try and improve then and get his position back up the order then into the final couple of corners. Let's see what he's going to do then into this final corner we go as well now as it's flying through this qualifying session, but it's been absolutely fantastic. To finish off qualifying here, what's going to be? It's P5 and right behind his teammate and for Ballot then on the third round. Then on the speed. It is Hungary Styles then is going to be on pole position then for the Hungarian Grand Prix from season 10, bracket 12 then qualifying in 2 thousandths per second separating start of Reflection at the end of that 18-minute qualifying session. My goodness, that was close indeed. And Styles then has just beaten this back in Reflection to that pole position as it stands then with 2,000 second. I think it's the closest qualifying we've had in the whole season. Brilliant stuff indeed in terms of the brilliant stuff indeed, I should say. And fantastic show there in this qualifying session as well. Then unfortunately messed up on my lap says Slayer then not sure if you saw any mistakes, but I didn't see any mistakes of course. I did see a couple of chicane very nicely, but I think that was after you were coming back into the anyway. So that's all good. Hungry Styles says Equines then as well then. So close for P1 then. Good job, Matt says House as well then. It's not his best track, says Stephen Anthony then as well. Bad quality then, disappointed, says Ballin then. P5 then is not too shabby indeed then. Stephen Anthony and Mushroom then close too as well. Where are they then? There they are then. It's, yes, it's only 5 thousandths of a second between the two of them as well then. My goodness me, what a qualifying indeed that was. Unfortunately, Liam got those 5-place group penalty. We saw that right at the early stages, didn't we? We'll have a quick word from our lovely sponsors then. We'll be back in action then for the Hungarian Grand Prix. 35 laps of racing then to unfold in just a jiffy. Right, then we are ready to get going. We're back in action here, and the formation lap about to get underway. Yeah, we get ourselves started, and there's lots of coast cars there. Hopefully they can get themselves sorted and moving. But there we are. Good stuff. Right then, as Mushroom said that he messed it right up as well. Too close, and Ginger's set up. And hopefully as Ginger Rader set up, blame the driver. If you've got Ginger Radio set up and you manage to finish the race, then good luck indeed and well done if you do manage to cross that checkered flag line. And we can see how it's going to unfold there in the Mushroom there, but he could be in danger before he can get started, especially with Ginger Radio set up, that is. But anyway, we'll crack on as we go through then. Top 10 then, starting on the medium compound tyres, then from Polestar to Hungry Styles down to Rosenskye in P10. Then we've got a bit of a mix of strategy as well then. We've got hard compound tyres then for the Hello Housey in P11, then Stephen Anthony as well, then opting for the hard compounds as well in P12 for Williams then. We've got Sirius Mushroom and Real Ashton on the medium compounds then. Everybody else down to P20 on the hard compound tyres vintage to his teammate Liam as well, then all on the hard compound. They're looking for a longer set or longer first stint, I should say, to get themselves deeper into this race before making any scheduled stops, that is. Goddard's then opting for the medium compound tyres then in the Mercedes here, so wait to see then how he's going to go then on those medium compound tyres, I should say then. So Styles then will lead us the way then for the start of the Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see if we can hold on to that, but Reflection then might be thinking about that 2 thousandths of a second then is going to be very minuscule then. Are we going to see the same thing at the very end of the race? We'll wait and see. But it's going to be very close indeed, I'd imagine, as we head through then to finish off the formation lap then and get ourselves lined up on the grid then to start off the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Okay, incredible parking.
Travatsa said, "Hola, is it a full dry race?" I have no idea. You're asking the wrong person. Nobody's told me anything about rain, so I'm guessing we'll see a nice dry race. Find out. There we go then. And preset 10 says Ginger Asia, goodness me, that's going to have a lot of downforce indeed. But you'll be brilliant in sector 2. So there's pluses and minuses to that, I'd imagine. But here we go. Right then, let's have a look at position changes then and get ourselves lined up then to start off the Hungarian Grand Prix. We go then, the 5 red lights are coming on here in Hungary then. The 5 red lights are on now, and the 5 red lights are out, and away we go then for the Hungarian Grand Prix of Bronze then, and a good start I think then for Reflection. I can't tell from this angle, then we'll wait and see as we head down towards turn 1 then, as we fly in towards turn 1. Marsky's bring the pressure on as well then for Mercedes then, rounding that first turn then. Everyone's got themselves through, there's a bit of a squeeze there, but Marsky's held on to P3 then. McLaren's then have been swapping around then and balance up into P4 then, but no, there's going to be contact between both McLaren's then. there as we go down into turn 2. Then the leading contact gets back as well. Then goodness me, there's Williams off the circuit. That's Dynamo Dan. And there's an Alpine flying off as well. Then that's Mr. Elite. Then goodness me, they've got themselves back on and sorted quite quickly. That was close indeed. But thankfully, everyone seems to be just about okay. Then as Stephen Anthony's lost out, then what's happening to Stephen Anthony there? He's dropping down the field. Then he's not got any damage to the car there. And I think he's just he's let the people go through then as we go into it's going to be side by side through the chicane. That's going to be close indeed. And I think we've got ourselves through then unscathed. Then Real Ashton's lost out then 6 places, unfortunately, then on the start there for the Red Bull team. Then hopefully we can pick those back up then throughout the stint as well. Then as we go through then into the next knockings of the race, then Vintage has passed Stead, or has he? But there's contact in the background as well. Then goodness me, what's happening there? Then there's all sorts of anarchy going on then in the background. I think Stead, somebody's lost a bit of wing there, haven't they? Because as Stephen Anthony's gone in the back then of Stead, I think there, as we head through into the penultimate turn then, and Goddard is trying to get himself past Stephen Anthony as well then, and they're still fighting as well then. Goodness me, I can't take my eyes off the of this battle here, to be fair. It's quite close indeed, as I think Goddard has lost a bit of wing there, and that's the that might have been the wing that we saw fly off in the background there as well. Then heading through into lap 2, then Styles leads the way, then Marsky then is Selection's in pit 2, Marsky is in pit 3. He's under pressure now from Winnie as we go into turn 2. Then it's going to be close indeed. He's left the space then for the Ferrari, then going through into the next turn. Then who's going to get himself ahead there? But Winnie then is putting the pressure on. He's got himself past both McLarens, and now on a charge then looking to get himself past Marsky into sector 2, but there's not really a passing move there as we go into turn 5 then on lap 2. Then goodness me, it's all action in Hungary as well. Then the Mushrooms up into P10. Then he's got himself up 3 places then on the start of this race there. Good stuff indeed on those medium compact tyres. He's passed his teammate who's dropped down a place then, who's on the same compound actually. I think he's on the compact tyre as well. Goodness me, my goodness me, it's all over the place. And there's Stead got a 3-second penalty then. I think Stead's wing is intact actually, so he might be all right. The penalty we have seen rolling in around here, so it can get a bit frantic. Then we've got a car off the circuit, then that's Goddard, then he's had an issue, then he's off the circuit. He's got that wing damage, of course, hasn't he there? He might need to come into the pits and service that car then as quickly as possible then to get that front wing replaced. Down in front then Reflection is putting the charge on, then he's got himself into the battle then for the race lead with Hungry Stars then, and these two are scampering off the distance, 2 seconds gap then behind. Then here comes Marsky, and when he's going to be putting the pressure on for that podium place as well then with the DRS now available for the Ferrari. They're heading into turn 1. He's got the inside line. Marsky's braking later then to go round the outside. Goddard is in the pit lane to sort out that front wing then, as Winnie I think has got the move done, or has he, as Marsky's fighting it back there. But into turn 2 then Marsky has dropped down to P4, then Winnie up into P3, but he's up 5 places then in the start of this Grand Prix. Fantastic. And McLarens are fighting as well. Then goodness me, in the background then there's P5, P6 currently for the McLaren outfit, and there's Ballett's going to go for a move on his teammate. No, that's not a move there, unfortunately for Ballett. Then there's a bit of a tight place to go, even with one car, isn't it then? But with 2 especially, you don't want to hit your teammate, do you? So that's the F1 rule, isn't it? But not the rule that usually happens there. There we go. As we head into sector 2 on lap 3, then Mushrooms putting the pressure on Dynamo Dan, then into sector 2, then Housey then holding on to that P11, and Volta Skies also maintain places then in P10 for the Kick Sauber team. Then penalties rolling into Vintage has picked up a penalty as well. Then there's lots of penalties in this race, and we imagine it will unfold then as we go through, especially in sector 2. It's quite easy just to get your wheels dipped over the line then, isn't it? But there we are, then heading through then into lap 4 momentarily now. Styles then is he sort of repelled the pressure then slightly then from Reflection, but Reflection still in that DRS window, so he's going to try and drag himself along then into turn 1 then, and now put the challenge on then as well then for that lead of the Grand Prix. 3 seconds back is Winnie, then Marsky is chasing him as here comes Ballett then diving down the inside of his teammate there. Goodness me, that's close indeed, and Ballett then is on a charge at his home Grand Prix then, but he's not been able to get himself past Sand just yet then. As we head into turn 2 then round the outside, there's almost contact again then between the McLaren team then, but Ballett I think has got the move done then, and Sand I think has just let him go there as well, because he didn't want to risk his front wing. But now up into P5 for Ballett, then P6 now for Sand, then dropping down. Then Winnie's picked up a penalty going through into turn 4, and that's costing because Sand's off the circuit as well at turn 5. Thank goodness me, Sand's had an issue there as well. Then I think they're dirty. He might have kicked up from his teammate there, and that has been costly indeed. As here comes that Decanco then going through then. into P17, and Sam then with his damage and is going to be ruin that incident there as well. Then into turn 5. I don't think there was any issue there, but I think he just lost the car unfortunately. Then as Real Ashton is stuck behind the McLaren then with his damage as well. Then Real Ashton needs to get himself past that McLaren as well as quickly as possible, and Sam needs to get himself into the pitch to sort out that front wing as quickly as possible as well. Then as we go through then into lap 5, then the leaders then are setting the pace very quickly, very quick pace indeed. Then and Reflection is he's still about 8 tenths away then from Styles to the end to the main straight there as well. So Styles then doing a good job of maintaining that gap then in this early stage of this Grand Prix. Lap 5 now underway, and unfortunately for Sam then he's going to have to get himself into the box to sort out a front wing as well then, which is a big shame indeed. Sam is into the pits. Liam has got himself past Slayer, I think then for P12, and now Liam can he chase down Mr. Elite as well then. He's the second highest runner on the hard compound tyres. Housy's got himself into the top 10 here, and he's the highest runner on the hard compound tyres who started off the Grand Prix on those tyres as well. And Sam is in bits for hard compound tyres as well then, so we'll wait and see if he can replicate the form then of his qualifying and get himself back in the points paying positions then in this race as well. We'll wait and see how it unfolds then into lap 5 I should say, sector 2, and Reflection is actually dropping then from Styles, and Styles they've got a bit more downforce potentially there than the Aston Martin, and that gap's extended to over a second then for Styles then, which is going to be great news indeed for him. Not so good news then for Reflection as we head into the end of lap 5. Goodness me. Brilliant stuff indeed then for the top two then, winning then 4.2 seconds back then. Marsky, Ballot, Smith, the Almighty, Dynamo Dan, Rassat, Serious Mushroom, Rosa, Sky, Housey is all chasing him down then for that final podium place then. They're all in this DRS train then heading onto lap 6 now. Reflection has got DRS then heading onto lap 6 as well then, on the back of that Racing Bull of Styles then, who's leading the way then very comfortably indeed as it stands. But there we go then. Mushy got in front on the hard runners at the start, says Ekbaz then. Good start indeed then for Mushroom as well. Then here comes Slayer, Stephen Anthony, and trying to get himself back in the race as well. Then he's going to go very close indeed to the back of that Haas, and oh dear, almost squeezing him in there as well then as we head through turn 1 then now down towards turn 2. And I think Vintage is going to hold on. Wow! I thought it was going to be a fantastic switch back there, but Vintage had it covered. And now into turn 3 we go. Then Stephen Anthony up into P14, back up into P14, I should say, after recovering on that first lap as well. Then so far so good. Then as we go through and Reflection, then once again losing time then in the second sector then as well. Then that is where Styles' downforce is working to its maximum then as well to get in that gap as we go through then into sector 3, just under a second then as well. Then Marsky is trying to get himself back past Winnie then for that final podium place then as it stands, but we're only 6 laps in, soon to be 7, but it's been a enthralling start to this Grand Prix, I have to say there, as we go through then into the final couple of corners then for our race leaders. And there's quite a bit of a pack forming behind Winnie as we go through then into lap 7 now as well. Then Mr. Elite in a bit of no man's land for now, but I think the hard compound tyre runners will start to catch up to him then in the next moment or two. Then Stephen Anthony's looking to get himself back past Finch, into P13. Vintage unfortunately picked up a penalty then. There's 3 penalties out there already then as we go through then into the main straight off lap 7. Then Stephen Anthony with the DRS is open then and looking to get himself passing past that Haas, I should say, then into the first turn. He has done very nicely indeed, and up into P13. Vintage Kanko got himself past Steph there as well as we headed through into the main straight as well then as well. So goodness me, all action here as well then, as I keep saying as well, but I can't get any more words out because I'm running out of words already in this race. It's been absolutely fantastic. Sam then is going to get himself back past Goddard's. Of course these two have had to make early pit stops then with damage there as well, and so of course they're on a bit of a different strategy at this point of the race, but if they work together potentially they can get themselves back in the mix as well then, not too far away then, of course, with more pit stops to come, pit stops to come in for the rest of the field ahead of them as well. So there we are then, flying through now to sector 3, and a lovely as we head down towards sector 3 then for the end of lap 7. Then Reflection is bringing that gap just about down then as we head round the final corner. Then again, I think this is where Styles' downforce is helping him here. We'll have to figure it out then, or find out I should say after the race as well then. But lap 8 then of 35 as we go through then into the pits comes Ross Sky then. So Ross Sky is calling it a day then at the end of lap 7 then onto lap 8 then. He's calling it a day on the medium compound tyres. Into the pits we go then for the first scheduled race, I believe. We'll have to find out, but he's going to call it a day now on the medium compound tyres. And where will he come out then, and what will he go for next is the question. And tyres go the kick salver now. So that is him done and dusted on the medium compact tire, I should say, then, and back out. DeCanco and Slayer, then goodness me, DeCanco's, where's he gone then? He's just flowing off at turn 1 there. Definitely damage then for the Red Bull car then, unfortunately for DeCanco. Then he's got himself back underway. But he's going to have to get himself back in the pit lane to sort that front wing out. That is going to be severe damage indeed on the right end plate there. You can see completely missing then for the Red Bull car then, unfortunately. Not quite sure what happened there. If he just got a bit too eager on the throttle then coming out to turn 1 there. But we just saw Slayer pass in there as well. But Slayer's not got any damage. I don't think there was any issue there. I think it was just DeCanco trying to get himself back in the fight then for that position. Then unfortunately has had the issue at the exit of turn 1, which is a big shame indeed, because DeCanco has been on good form then in the last few races as well. Then heading through into lap 9 now, and Styles then is still tantalizingly just under 1 second, I should say. The Reflection's not got DRS though, actually, so good Reflection then has Styles has broken the DRS then to Reflection on this lap now as well. Then this is going to be the turning point then in the Grand Prix then for the race leaders as well. We'll wait and see. 7 seconds back then is Winnie. Then Winnie's now under pressure from Barsky to go into turn 1. Marcy's going to have some DRS then in towards turn 2, but I think he's a bit too far back to make a move then into turn 2 as well, then to challenge then in this Grand Prix into this lap, I say, goodness me, because of course it gets a bit tight and twisted in sector 2, then it's not very easy to pass there. And it's not recommended, to be fair, because it's quite difficult. Right then, as we go through into sector 2 now, then a bit of a gap forming. Then Mr. Elite then in P10 then is 3.5 seconds back. Then he's on the medium compound tires. That car is looking to step out then as we go through turn 4 and turn 5. Goddard's has got a 3-second penalty, unfortunately, for Goddard's, and he's coming through in the pits. DeCanco's also in the pits to sort out that front wing damage as well. But now Liam's caught up to the DRS then on his hard compound tires. Then Mr. Elite's now under pressure. Then Steve Nancy's got a 3-second penalty through sector 2 as well then. But again, like I said, there's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers, or 5 drivers, I think, with penalties already. Then a quarter of the field then with penalties on lap 9 as Howes. He's trying to get himself past Mushroom here then into sector 3 then. Oh goodness me, that's going to be tight indeed. Then he's got himself through on those hard compound tires. I think they're going to be working to their best effect now then compared to the medium compounds ahead of him as well. So Howes, he might be looking to gain a few places here in the next lap or 2 then, if those on the mediums try to stay out then and try to stick it out on those medium compound tires as well. We'll wait and see. The gaps come down to 0.6 of a second then, so Reflection's put his foot on the gas then and caught back up to Hungry Styles as well here. Marsky then still stuck behind Winnie for the time being as well as we head through then into lap 10 and 35 then. 25 laps to go then at the end of this one, and still lots of action to unfold, I think, in this Grand Prix as well. Then Liam's caught up, then he's all over back now of Mr. Elite. Then Mr. Elite's medium compound tyres might be starting to struggle at this point of the Grand Prix, unfortunately, for the Alpine outfit as well. Then Mushroom then is holding on to the top 9 as it stands as well. So the Alpines then starting to struggle with their tyre wear, it looks like, I should say. Then Stephen Anthony's now caught up to the back of Liam and Mr. Elite then for that P10 battle as we head through into sector 2 then as well. Then instead holding on to the final points paying position at the moment then, but Rosa Sky then on his fresher hard compound tyres will be catching up to him very quickly indeed. And there is Rosa Sky then in the background and heading through into sector 2 as well. Then Real Ashton, is still got sole car on his medium compound tyres. So then San, of course, and Goddard's and DeCanco have all had to make unscheduled stops then with damage, unfortunately, then, but they're back underway as we head on to lap 11 now, and Reflection's a lot closer this time then, but he's not going for the move then. He's 7/10 back, 6/10 back, of course, with the DRS then pulling him closer and closer then to the back of that racing bull. But he's not close enough then as Winnie is into the pits then. So Winnie's calling it there at the end of lap 10 then onto lap 11. It's me, I was going to say lap 15. But we're not that quickly going through the laps here. But there we go. The hard compound tyres going on for car number 2 then. The Ferrari then heading out of pit lane now. He will be behind both the Kick Saubers, I'd imagine. Where will Real Ashton be then in the battle then with Winnie as we exit the pit lane? Real Ashton has gone through as well then to P16, so Winnie then out of the pits in P17 and now on a fresh set of hard compound tyres as we go through then onto lap 11 now. So 2 drivers I think have made a scheduled stop. That is Rosa Sky then in P15 and Winnie now on the hard compound tyres in P17. So we'll wait to see then how they're going to fare the rest of this Grand Prix. It might indicate, I'm not quite sure, that we need to get the hard compounds for the Grand Prix not Rosa Sky. Real Ashton has let the Ferrari go through there. Maybe not the fight then, as Rosa Sky has also got himself past his teammate then instead as you go into sector 2. But I think Real Ashton was thinking about the long game there as well then. Didn't want to fight then as we got a problem then. Stead's had an issue. Stead? Yeah, Stead's had an issue, then he's back. Oh dear, no, what's going on for Stead then? Stead's goal dear, he's off the circuit there. And oh my goodness me, then Stead is not looking too steady, unfortunately, at this point of the Grand Prix. He's got that damage as well that Real Ashton needs to watch out. Then as we go through, then the Stead's going to be very careful to try and stay off the circuit, then he has done. But he needs to get himself back in that pit lane and to sort out that front wing damage as well here. But I'm not sure what happened there, because Rosa Sky had just gone through, hadn't he? But I'm not sure if Stead had an off there somewhere then in Sector 2, then right behind his teammate there. But he's had some sort of issues, and unfortunately there for Stead, as Rosa Sky's got himself past Slayer, then Stead is into the pits then. Oh dear, God. The car is not reacting very nicely indeed for Stead, unfortunately. He has got himself into the box there, unfortunately, for Stead. Then he's going to have to get that front wing serviced, and he's unfortunately out of Grand Prix as well. First retirement of the race as well, I should say. But unfortunately for Stead, then he is quite in the pit lane, and that is his race done and dusted then in Hungary, a fourth, of course, for round 12, that is. As unfortunately for Stead, then it's not gone his way tonight in this Grand Prix. Right then, Styles then and Reflection, these two carrying on their fight. Then Mask is up to P3, then Ballant now chasing down. And where is Stead got himself unfortunately out of the race then, but Winnie then is trying to put the pressure on now as well, then on his fresh hard compound tyres. Then he's going to catch up to Jake the Slayer quite quickly, but can he pass Jake the Slayer quite quickly is another question. Of course, catching is one thing, passing is another. Something commentator once said in Formula 1 racing there. As we head on to lap 13, and Reflection then is within the DRS, and he's trying to chase him down. Then is the Aston Martin, the championship leader, then looking for that second, another race win, I should say, as Jake the Slayer has been passed by Winnie. Then Winnie's got himself through. That he's got a 3-second penalty there for something. I'm not sure if Winnie was too eager to get himself past there, but nonetheless, as we go through then into turn 1, then and Dynamo Dan is going down the inside of Smith, the Almighty, then for P5, I should say, goodness me. He's up to P5 now as well. Then Ballant then couldn't get himself past Marsky then into where is he? Into turn 1 or 2, and he stays P4 for now. Then he'll then into lap 13 then go through. Then unfortunately saw somebody else get past, but I'm not sure. But there we go. So now into sector 2. Turn 5, I should say, then lap 13, it's starting to split up the field a bit more then, because of course pit stops are starting to occur as well. Then there might be a few on the contra strategies as well out here. Then got us back in the pit lane for Mercedes. He's had a bit of an issue going in the run himself back up the hill. But there we go. Unfortunately, God, I said it's not going too well live with them as well for the Sauer Grand Prix as well. Never mind. So there we go. As Mr. Elite then is in a bit of a battle then with Stephen Anstey. Then there's a kick Sauer involved as well there, as Rosa Sky's trying to get his nose down there as well. And heading into, oh my God, then heading into Sector 3. Then it's close indeed between the Ferrari, the Haas, the Williams. There's all sorts there as we go through now side by side. And Winnie's then putting his nose in there as Rosa Sky. Then where is he? There he is. As we go through into turn 14 to finish off the lap. Then my goodness me, Mushrooms in the pit lane calling it a day on those medium compound tyres, I should say. Then Stephen Anthony and Winnie then, as they're all on all the different compounds of tyres. That's going to be 3 wide down the straight as we go into turn 1. Then who's going to make the move then on the brakes? Then Stephen Anthony then is going round the outside, then down the inside goes Mr. Elite, and can he get the place back? No, not quite. Stephen Anthony goes through Winnie's run through as well, I should say. Then down the inside of turn 2 goes Rosa Sky then on the fresher tyres. Then so sticking out on those medium compound tyres then for the time being, but unfortunately has lost out 3 places then on those 2 corners as well. Then Winnie then has caught up to the back of Liam as well. Then Liam's doing a good job then in the Haas. Then currently P8 then, but of course is yet to pit. Then there's a few drivers around him who've got to pit as well. So it's not all done and dusted just yet in this Grand Prix. You have to say as well to go through then into sector 2. Marsky then has been passed by Ballant somewhere. I missed it completely, I'm very sorry. But Marsky then looking to regain that place as we head into sector 3. Then he's got Dynamo Dan, Smith, the Almighty, and Housie then for company as we go through then into the final couple of corners. Then will there be some pit stops? Not for the race leaders. They're carrying on out there. 13 seconds, almost 14 seconds the gap then as we carry on as well then for this pack as we go into the final turn. Then lap 15, Smuffman's got a 3-second penalty. Then, like I said, penalties do start to roll in around here. Then Winnie has got himself past Liam, or has he? Yeah, they are. Yes, so he has got himself past Liam as well. Then up into P8 now as well. The Mr. Elite is into the pit lane and calling a day on his medium compound tyres. So there we go then. Now heading into lap 15 then. This is where I think we're going to see some of the more medium runners pitting. Mr. Elite then onto the hard compound tyres and away he goes. he will come out behind Rialash and San as well here. But they're getting themselves back in the race then as well. Those two then, fortunately with Decanco, he's still got a bit of catching up to do. But he's fair play indeed for Decanco for sticking it out as well. Then in this Grand Prix, there could be anything to happen, and there's still 20 laps to go in this Grand Prix as well as we head through into sector 3 at the end of lap 15. Might see some pit stops here then for our race leaders as well then as we go into the final sector then to finish off the lap now as well. Then let's see whether Styles or Reflection are going to come into the pit lane. We'll find out now. We'll find out 2 seconds. Here we go. And Styles is in. So Styles then from the race leaders calling it a day then on the medium front fan tires. Bit of a bump here with the pit lane. So that Reflection carries on then. So Reflection is carrying on in this race then. But Ballin then is going to come round then into the final couple of corners where we see some more pit stop action as well. Then we've got Dynamo Dan peeling into the pit lane then for the Williams team as well. Then calling it a day then on these medium front fan tires. And avoiding the bumps then into the pit entry as well. And Smithy Almighty also coming in as well. Then yellow flags out there then for Reflection. Reflection's had an issue then at turn 1. He's got himself back underway, but unfortunately he has lost out massively there as well then. And what's happened to Reflection? He's not got any damage, I don't think, but he's had a spin there into turn 1, exit turn 1 I should say then, but he's got himself back underway. But unfortunately that's going to be costly indeed for him and the team, because he doesn't have that margin. Then Styles then will inherit back for the lead once Reflection does pit, of course. Has he got a puncture potentially there? No, it seems all right then, so he's carrying on then. But I'm not sure what happened then to Reflection, and he's had a big issue there out on the out in turn 1 then as well then. So that is going to be costly indeed then. And the battle that was going to be raging on then for the rest of this race, unfortunately, is going to be cut short a bit then, because when Reflection does stop, he's going to be a bit further back from Styles than he was before Styles made that pit entry then as well then at the end of lap 15. Of course, Reflection have fresher tyres, but the other question is how long they're going to hold on for around here, which is the question, as Marsky's gone a bit wide then and Winnie's got a penalty, so I'm not sure why Winnie got penalty there for that, but nonetheless, as we go through then into lap 16, I'd imagine there's going to be some more pit stop action, and Reflection then is coming into the pit lane. Day then on his medium front fan tyres. Ballin then is also coming in as well. Then Marsky coming into for Mercedes then slow down then into the pit entry. These stuff to go through then. So the hard runners have carried on then. Wow, it's going to get us close indeed. There's a squeeze there as well then, and the Styles has gone through then, and Housey then and Winnie then are in a bit of a fight. There's contact then, and we go through over the curb then, over the bump then I should say for Winnie then, and Styles then is getting his elbows out then to try and hold on to this race lead as we go round the outside of turn 2 then, and now into turn 3 then. Styles retakes the lead I should say. But that was close indeed. I'm not quite sure whether Styles knew that Housey was there on the outside into turn 1. But it was all hands on deck there as well then to try and keep the cars pointing in the right line. And thankfully they all did. But Winnie then has, of course, he's pitted 6 laps ago. Then he's got slightly older tyres than Styles. And he's got much older tyres than Housey as we go through here. Then goodness me, that's close indeed. But thankfully, wow, that's brilliant driving indeed as well. They've got themselves through. Then got a problem there. Decanco's had an issue, then he's off the circuit. Well, not off the circuit, he's spun. And the exit of turn 1, the same as Reflection did as well then, but he's got himself back underway, same as Reflection as well here. My goodness me. That jump from the Ferrari was pretty sick, says Nicholas. And yeah, he jumped. He didn't shy away from keeping his foot in there, did he? Did Winnie? Then he's held on to the throttle and just put his foot down. But Winnie then has he's got P2 at the moment. And that is, I think we might see some more stops to come then, as Housey then is trying to soldier on those hard compound tyres. Housey looking quite strong at this point of the race as well. Then I have to say, Liam and Serious Mushroom and Vintage have switched places. Then Serious Mushroom up into P7. Smithy Almighty sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix here, and Stephen Anthony has passed Liam, has he? Yes, oh dear, that's going to get tight. Oh dear, so Stephen Anthony up at P5 then, passing Liam then 4 cents. Liam and Stephen Anthony will get to pit in this Grand Prix, and then he's caught up by Mushroom then into sector 2, I'd imagine then. Only 1.1 seconds gap then, and Mushroom on his fresh tyres will be easily catching that gap up. So here comes Dynamo Dan. He's now stuck behind Slayer for the time being. Of course, I say stuck behind Slayer because Slayer is yet to pit in this Grand Prix as well. Then Decanco is back in the pit lane, unfortunately then for the Red Bull team. And Slayer's had a bit of an off then, and what's going to happen here then? I thought that Dynamo Dan was going to go for a dive bomb there, but not quite. Right all over the track, and we've got something going off on the in front of us as well. The all sorts of bollards are being spiced off the track. And Dynamo Dan then is stuck behind Slayer then in sector 2, which is definitely the worst place to be stuck then in this Grand Prix. Then it's, like I said, it's Monaco without the barriers, isn't it? So he's going to have to get himself back underway and quickly enough, as Dynamo Dan has got himself past Slayer then somewhere. And oh dear, as there's contact between Reflection and there's more contact then with Smithy then. My goodness me, that it's been pinball then as well then for these drivers. I think they need to think about what the situation is for tyre life as well around here, because Reflection trying to squeeze through then. Oh my god, then you need to be considerate of everybody else. So there we go. and have a think about what their strategies are going to be as well then. Liam then has called it a day then on his hard compact tyre that ends of lap 18 onto lap 19. Can he get those mediums to the end of the Grand Prix from here? It will be a stretch indeed, but San has got himself into the points paying positions as well then now, San, after recovering them at the early stage of this race then with that spin. Then medium compact tyres on for the Haston of Liam and back underway. Then fair play to DeCanco and Real Ashton for soldiering on in this Grand Prix as well. Howsey then is under pressure now from Rosa Sky then. Rosa Sky for did hit 11 laps ago now. Then as Dynamo Dan has passed Vintage and up into P7 now on his fresh hard compact tyres. I think a few drivers then on the fresh tyres are just trying to get on with it, aren't they? Of course, they're trying to get themselves through, and especially into this sector here, then you can't really get yourself past a slower car. Then, of course, it's not a full position as well, then, so they don't need to move out of the way or anything. But heading through into sector 3, then Smithy Almighty then is right behind the Haas then of Vintage. And can he get his nose down the inside then or around somewhere as we go through then? And he has done, and so has Reflection as well then, or has he? Oh, it's going to be close indeed, but they have got themselves through unscathed as well then. So Vintage and soldiering on the hard compact tyres. Steve Nancy into the pit lane then for the Williams team then. Medium compact tyres, I would imagine, will be going on for him. The yellow flag's out there for a racing ball. Then it's Slayer is off the circuit then. Goodness me, has he got a puncture there potentially? Then those old hard compact tyres then are going to start to struggle, and he's got himself into the pit lane just about. Good stuff indeed. It's Steve Nancy then on medium compact tyres coming out behind San and Lee, and then Ross Sky's picked up a 3-second penalty then, so penalties, like I said, are rolling in here then. So Steve Nancy comes out in P15, still in the points paying positions, and now on fresh medium rubber as well then. So Slayer then also off for fresh medium compact tyres and back underway here in this Grand Prix. Then out in front, Styles then leads the way with 7 seconds a gap then for the race leader as well then, as we head through then into lap 21 momentarily. Then Styles going a bit too wide, then track limits might be in play then as well, so you need to be very careful then for any drivers needs to be very careful. Winnie then, I don't know, will Winnie have to make it to another 2-stop then, make it into a 2-stop I should say. Same for Ross Sky. Liam's got a 3-second penalty, unfortunately, then for Ross Sky, for Liam, I can say. But he's doing a good job then on the medium compact tyres, then on the in P13 for the time being as well. Then now those medium compact tyres will be working wonders indeed to try and get him that gap then as well. Then maybe try and catch up to Mr. Elite as well in front of us. We still have pit stops then for Howsey and for Vintage to come as well. Then Vintage is into pits as I say that. Then our hard compact tyres then is the Hash driver that mediums to the end of the Grand Prix from here will be very easy to do, I would imagine, as Reflection has tried to pass Smithy, I think, there, but he has gone very wide then into turn 1, and Smithy has regained P7, and of course these two carrying on their fight then for 2 championship rivals as well then, as Stephen Anthony then gets himself past Vintage, and San is also in the pit lane as well then, and calling it a day on his hard compact tyres for a set of medium compact tyres then for the McLaren. Might lose out, he's lost out to Real Ashton then, but he might lose out to Slayer as well here then, so Slayer goes through then on his fresh medium compact tyres as well, so those two are looking to get themselves flying up the order then on the fresh tyres here in this latter part of this Grand Prix now as well then. Out in front then the gap is going to be sailing up then, of course, because Willie's tyres are much older than the Styles, as we head through then into lap 21, then finishing off lap 21 I should say then. Howsey then is holding on then still then. Is he going to come into the pit lane at this point of the race then? Serious Mushroom is putting the pressure on then on the Aston Martin to go into the penultimate corner, but Howsey might be peeling off into the pit lane. No, he's not. He's going to stay out then, as Mushroom's going to have to do the overtaking on track here, and we've got a yellow flag then for a racing ball. I think that might be Slayer then, as here comes Mushroom then on the charge, then he's got himself up into P4, then he's passed the Aston Martin of Howsey, sorry I should say, and now into the P4 position. Then can he get himself further up the field, then can he get himself into that final podium place? Then we might see that I should say, sorry, his Reflection has passed Smithy this time, or has he? Once again then Smithy fights back, then go through into turn 1 then, and now down towards turn 2 then, and we're going to go for a late lunge, not quite then. Stephen Anthony set the fast lap of the Grand Prix of the 19.126, and looking good indeed there for Stephen Anthony as well, the next report. what was I saying? I can't remember. Housy's then still soldiering on those hardcore band tyres, which is a fantastic stint indeed. He's the only driver yet to pit in this Grand Prix as well, but he might have to think about that very soon, because Dynamo Dan's next to try his luck to get himself past. He's now within that 1 second window. Smithy Almighty then is 1.8 seconds back. Then Reflection has been challenging them for that position for a long time, but these two are championship rivals, remember then. So for Smithy wants to keep Reflection behind for as long as possible and hope that he can outscore the Aston Martin behind him as well then in this Grand Prix. We'll wait and see then what is going to be the case as well, but we'll fly through them as Housey and Dynamo Dan have switched places there as well, and so Housey then struggling on those hard compound tyres. I'd imagine right now he's going to call it a day this time. Yes, he is then, so he's into the pit lane as Rosa Sky is also into the pits as well then, so Rosa Sky then out of the running for the podium then as it stands, but of course now will be on fresh tyres at the end of the Grand Prix. Housey then also into the box as well to call it a day on his hard compound tyres, which have done 22 laps to be fair. Brilliant stint indeed then, as Mushroom then inherits the podium place then, but Dynamo Dan then's only 2.3 seconds behind, and Smithy Almighty has got himself within that DRS window as well then of Dynamo Dan then, and Reflections being brought along with him as well. Valet then P7 for the time being, then Mr. Elite P8, then Ramarsky in P9, and Rosa Sky then out in P10 then on a fresh hard compound tyre is going to be very quick indeed then in the latter stages of this race as well. Liam then right behind in P11 then, but unfortunately for Liam, well, not unfortunately, I think the extra tyre life then of the hard compound tyres of Rosa Sky will get himself back into contention then with Marsky very quickly indeed as well. Then you've got Liam going to try and hold on then as well for Stephen Anthony up P12 then as we go through then. Housey then on fresh medium compound tyres then P13, then there could be a lot of places to gain then for Housey as well as going through into this race as well. Then Sam then looking to get himself back in contention with Real Ashton for that final points paying position. Then Jake Slayer and De Kanker then still soldiering on out there as well. Then Stephen Anthony's got a 3-second penalty then as he tries to get himself past Liam, then he's caught up to the back. That has very quickly indeed. I think Liam's had an issue then because he was just behind Rosa Sky, wasn't he there? And Liam's had an issue, I think, then, and Stephen Anthony's been caught up right behind the Haas as well as you go through into turn 12, I should say. And Stephen Anthony then is going to be putting the pressure on then down the main straight. Then is his next overtaking opportunity, I'd imagine, with the aid of some DRS as well. Then as we finish off lap 24. And head on, finish on lap 23. To lap 24. Here comes Stephen Anthony on the charge then for that P11 position. Then can he get the move done? Then we can't quite tell from this angle then as we go through into turn 1. He's got the inside then of turn 1 then, and down the inside we go with him with the aid of DRS. Then he's got that move done and dusted. Liam then back in stepping out. Then he's lost the position unfortunately there. But of course he's on medium compound tyres that are only 1 lap older than the Williams who just passed him. So he can hold on and potentially keep himself in the points paying position as San has got himself past Real Ash. And then for P15, San is on a charge here as well, and so San could get himself back to points paying positions, I should say, as we go through then into lap 24. Then out in front, Dynamo Dan and Reflection of Dynamo Dan, Smithy and Reflection, I should say, are all in a bit of a fight then, and these are the 3 in the top of the championship order as well then, so this could get spicy indeed. Dynamo Dan and Reflection have no penalties there as well, as yes, wait and see as Winnie is into the pits then. So Winnie is calling it a day on the hard compound tyres with 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. So he's going to be out of the running as well then of the top positions as it stands as we go with 10 laps to go. There is Mushroom's going to inherit that P2 position. Very nice indeed. But he's got this gaggle of cars coming through behind him then. So this could be a bit of a fight to hold on to that P2 position then for Mushroom. We'll wait and see. And they're also on slightly younger tyres and only 2 laps younger tyres. Then Winnie out of the pit lane. He's on medium compounds now. Then he is going to be in a fight. Then he's going to be ahead of Rosa Sky, I should say. And now on a charge then on those medium compound tyres as well. Then we'll wait and see what Winnie can do to rectify that position after that extra pit stop as well. Then heading through into sector 2 then on lap 25 of 35. Then it's been an enthralling race there. 19 seconds the gap then for Styles then as it stands. He's almost got a pit stop in hand, I think, there, but maybe he doesn't want to use that, I'm pretty sure, as we go through then into lap 26 then for the race leader momentarily then. But this battle then heating up behind then as Reflection, Smith and then Dynamo Dan inherited the podium place. Then they could be P2 then with the penalty then for Mushroom as well then. But wait and see then at the end of this Grand Prix how it all fans out, how it all plays out then as we go through then. And Mushroom is being caught up then by Dynamo Dan, Smith in Reflection. They are absolutely flying then. The Williams, Ferrari and Aston Martin then are on a charge, and can they catch up then? Can they get themselves past then? Like we said, passing is a different game then to catching then, of course. So we'll carry on then. Right then, Marsky putting the pressure on Mr. Elite then. Can Mr. Elite get those hard compact tyres 20 laps then through this Grand Prix? We'll wait and see them, but Marsky looking to try and get that 7th place then away then from the Alpine machine. Then Winnie's also caught up now on his medium compact tyres, and he's looking to push his way through on those fresh mediums as well. Then as we head in towards turn 1, Marsky's thinking about the move. That's not a move, that's on then, unfortunately, for Marsky then. And Winnie's going to try and capitalise as well as we go down into turn 2. Then Winnie's through, then passing Marsky then. Unfortunately for Marsky then, that move was not on. Then as Winnie then trying to get himself past Mr. Elite on his medium compact tyres has done as well. Then goodness me, up in the P7 now as well. But my God, that was close indeed then to a catastrophic incident there. But well played indeed then for Marsky then to get himself just out of that one as well at the last second as well. Then Mr. Elite then not sure was aware of what's going on to be fair, but yeah, Mr. Elite's not more aware of what's going on than I do to be fair. Yes, as we crack on there, out to the front then. So Mushroom now under pressure. Then there's four cars, and I should say, performing a gaggle then in towards Sector 3. Mushroom, Dynamo Dan, Smith, the Almighty, Reflection as we power through then into lap 27 of 35. It could get very spicy towards the end of the Grand Prix. We can see. So Winnie then on medium compact tyres has got himself through and kicked on then. As we got a problem then, it's a Racing Bull who's had an issue then. I think that was Jacob Slayer then who had a problem then at the exit of turn 3. Then he's back underway quickly enough though. I didn't see anything. But there we go then. Into turn 1 we go then, and Dynamo Dan then is going to go down the outside, down the inside I should say then, of Serious Mushroom then. Has he made the move stick? And yes he has then. He's got DRS E2. He's Dynamo Dan now, and Mushroom then is going to hold on to P3 then because Smithy and Whitey's already not close enough then. Mr. Elite and Marsky once again having a bit of a battle then into turn 1 then, and here comes Marsky on the attack once again, and into turn 2 we go then. He's a bit too far back as well this time to make the move then. Rosa Sky is going to catch up with this battle as well then. Of course Rosa Sky's on fresher hard compact tyres. Stephen Anthony then is holding on to that P11 position, and Housy's now caught up then. He's passed Liam as well then. Now Housy is trying to challenge for that P11 position on slightly fresher medium compact tyres I should say, as we go through then into lap 27 then. So the battle heating up now as well then for this P2 position. It's Serious Mushroom looking to hold on in this race then for that position as well then as we go through into Sector 3 then. If you can keep within the DRS then of Dynamo Dan, that will be very helpful indeed then for the Alpine to just try and fend off the attacks then as well of the Ferrari and Aston Martin right behind him. Then Ballint is actually catching up then in the background as well. There is the McLaren in the background there very slightly there as well, and as we head through then into lap 28 then of 35 then. 7 laps to go then at the end of this one, then 8 laps to go I should say in its entirety as well then. But there we are, and now heading onto the straight then. So Serious Mushroom has got the DRS then, so that's going to help him to protect his position then from Smithy Almighty. Then into turn 1 we go, and Mushroom holds on to that P3 for now as well then. But on the power, I think Smithy Almighty has got a good traction there as well, then on the fresher tyres slightly as we head into turn 2, but nothing changes their status quo for the time being. Then Housy has passed Stephen Anthony then for that P11 position, and now into the charge then for that P10. Can he get himself that 6 seconds then to catch up to Marsky as well then, who's in a bit of a battle with Rosa Sky. Rosa Sky, I think, has been repassed by Mr. Elite there because he has lost out into the Alpine machine for now. But of course, the tyre wear will have a factor then in the next 7 laps or so as well, we'd imagine. So that might play back into the Kick Sauber's hands as well as we go through then into the latter stages of this Grand Prix. Right then. So back to this battle, here we go. Mushroom then is clinging on then to the DRS then for the time being of that Williams Dynamo Dan then. Can he keep that 1 second gap then is crucial then for Mushroom, but it's going to be very close indeed as we go through then into the belt. The detection point is about now, and I think he's just about got himself within that 1 second window then, which is going to be great news indeed for the Alpine team as he goes through. Then the rear wing is open there, so he has got the DRS then on Dynamo Dan as we head down onto lap 29, sorry, as we head down into turn 1. And thank God for not on lap 19 as Ballint has been passed by Winnie. Has he? Yes, he has then. So Winnie's up into P6 now. His fresh medium compact tyres working wonders there as well. Then Rosa Sky back past Mr. Elite then into turn 1. This time bolts on P8 there as we head through then into lap 29 then of 35. Then 6 laps to go then at the end of this one as well. Then Mushroom unfortunately has lost out to the DRS of Dynamo Dan then, and that's going to put Smithy and Reflection on the case as well then for that final podium place. And Reflection with no penalties then will inherit that podium place ahead of his championship rival Smithy then. And Dynamo Dan then of course will get himself back in the fight then with 22 points to his name, and as it stands then in this Grand Prix, of course, the system different from bronze, if you hadn't heard already. Right now, around 12 or 20 now, but so hopefully you've heard. But of course, the race winner then gets 30 points, then 22 points for P2, then 19 points for P3, 16 points, I think it is, for P4. And then vice versa all the way down to P15. Because the point system is different and potentially it's better, but we'll figure that out then at the end of the season if we can roll that out to everybody, but we'll find out then later on. Mushroom then unfortunately just out now 1/10 of a second, and unfortunately is costing that DRS then as well. Then now Smithy and Reflection are smelling blood then as we go down towards lap 13 into turn 1 then, and here comes Smithy on the charge then. He's going for the move then. Serious Mushroom's broken later, I should say, to try and hold on to the place then, but now on to the next straight in front of Reflection. That car trying to step out and puts the power. Reflection's gone through, I think. Has he? Yes, he has. He's locked up though, and Mushroom's going back through into turn 2, and he holds on to P4. Then yellow flags. It's for McLaren. I think that's Sand then. Sand's had an issue somewhere then in sector 3, but he's back underway then quickly enough. Then he's lost out to Real Ashton, unfortunately, there as well. Then as we go through then into turn 5, then only 5 laps to go then at the end of this one. And wow, Mushroom then is holding on to that P4 position for the time being as well. Then so Smithy on much has gone through. He's not got much fresher tyres, to be fair, than Mushroom. So Mushroom's tyres then maybe going through a bit of a graining phase, but of course the same thing will happen then in the next couple of laps then for Smithy and Reflection. They've been caught up by Winnie now on his medium compound tyres here, and Winnie then is going to be, he's on 5-lap old tyres I should say, but they're not going to be too shabby, I don't think, as Sam's gone for the fastest lap point then into the pits then for the McLaren driver. And Winnie then is going to be into this mix as well then very soon as well. So here he comes. And Reflection then is looking to get himself past the Serious Mushroom as quickly as possible, I think, here. But Mushroom just needs to hold that, hold the positions as long as he can. Then what's going on there? He's weaving all over the place there as well then, which unfortunately has lost him a bit of time then, I think. Because Winnie's going to go for the move, is he, as well then? No, not into turn 1 then. Close indeed, but oh my God then, as Winnie's gone through. And Mushroom then has dropped down to P6. And Winnie then on the charge, trying to get himself past Reflection, I think, here as well then. Goodness me. But not quite. So there we go. And there we are. So all systems restored. We'll have a look at the penalty situation actually adjusted to your feet, because there's going to be quite a few jumpings and movings with the penalty situation as it is. Then Winnie picked up a 3-second penalty as well. Then so that unfortunately is going to be very costly indeed. We've looked for the penalty situation there, and Winnie's got 9 seconds of penalty then, so that's going to demote him behind Mushroom and behind Ballot and potentially even behind Buzzard Sky as it stands as well. Then we'll wait and see how it all unfolds then towards the end of this Grand Prix then, but it is going to get a bit spicy towards the end of this Grand Prix, I'd imagine. Smithy Almighty then is trying to catch up to Dynamo Dan. He's got himself within that 1 second as well then of the Williams driver, heading through then into lap 32 then as well. There's going to be some DRS for Ferrari and Reflection then 2 seconds back. He needs to try and keep within that 3 seconds of his championship rival Smithy as well there. But he's got Winnie for company as we go through then into the penultimate couple of corners there of lap 31. Mushroom then holding on as well then as we go through then into the final corner. Then he's got some DRS to use then to defend from Ballot as we go through then as well. Then here comes Ross Sky. Then he's in a bit of no man's land as well. Then, but he's holding on to that PA position. Then Winnie has passed Reflection for P4. But of course penalties then would be his downfall, unfortunately. Not to be so sinister, but penalties are to be added on to the end of the Grand Prix, which they usually are. But as masking Mr. Elite once again battling into turn 1. Dynamo Dan's got a 3-second penalty, then that could promote. Well, it could. He's not going to promote him at the moment, but Reflection could be absolutely loving this, because he could be looking to get himself back into P2 then, where he was, of course, before the incident at turn 1. All there is he's lost the back end again, then that's not going to be good news indeed. He needs to try and hold on to that back end then and keep himself within range, because if he can keep himself within that 1 second of Winnie, then he can pull himself along then and gain 3 places potentially here with the aid of some DRS as well then. But Winnie then is motoring along then, trying to get Reflection out of that DRS then for his championship rival, for Reflection's championship rival then. But for Smithy, I think then in the championship fight, that is, because Smithy and Reflection, of course, are P1 and P2 respectively then in the championship drivers order. Then San has got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Fair play indeed to San. Then that's going to be an extra point then for San, so long as he can finish the Grand Prix as well. As we head through then into lap 33 then. Mushroom's going to be under a bit of pressure then from Ballon as we head through then onto the main straight then of lap 33. Then 2 laps to go. Then after this one, then we're on to the third final outings. We go through then Balint up into P6 now as well then, and looking to try and challenge then the rest of the field. Then Reflection is holding on to the DRS of Winnie, as Marsky and Mr. Elite once again having a bit of a battle then, and down the inside Mr. Elite trying to hold on to the pace. Then this time Marsky, can he get the pace done then on the Alpine then into turn 2? It's going to be tight indeed. They've got themselves through. I think the Mercedes has got the inside line. He has got the inside line. He's got the move done, and up into P9 then for Marsky. Then a fantastic battle between these two. And well, hopefully they see it that way as well then. But I probably got that wrong. But in the comment section we'll find out, or the Discord we'll find out after the race then. But fair play indeed then. A fantastic ding-dong battle indeed then between the Alpine and the Mercedes then of Marsky and Mr. Elite as well then, to be fair. Right then, we've got 1.6 seconds. So unfortunately that's going to drop Winnie then quite substantially down the order. With that penalty there as well. Then was catching up to Mushroom. Then he's only got 1.5 laps to go. Then as we start off the final lap, then Jim Slayer's also in the pit lane as well. Then I think the tank goes into the pits as well. So are they all going for the fastest lap? Soft contact on for the racing will then to go through them. They pitted early enough though is the question. Then I think they have. So that's all good. So fastest lap attempts are rolling in then as well. Smithy Almighty then is all over the back then of Dynamo Dan as we head on to the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Then is there going to be a change in the order then once again then on the final lap of this Grand Prix? We'll wait and see. But Dynamo Dan is just to hold on then as we've got yellow flags. What's going on there then? I think that might have just been the lap cars getting out of the way then of those on the lead lap still. Force, which we like, but there we go then. As we go through then into lap 34, then it's only 1 lap to go then at the end of this one, and it has been absolutely fantastic. And both the Hasses currently, both Hasses are going to score. I think for the first time this season. So all they need to do is make sure they hold on to those positions and Real Ashton will round up the points pay positions as it stands. But of course, Slayer, Dukanko and San then have all gone for that fastest lap point as well. Then for the soft compact tyres fitted to the cars at the end of this race as well. Then lap 35 then has commenced. We haven't seen this man at all. Then we'll come back to him in a minute. But we'll come back to Styles in a minute, I should say, because we haven't seen this man for much of the race. He has done a fantastic job indeed then. But we'll come back to the battles there as well. Then as here comes Smithy Almighty. Then can he get himself past then into turn 1 then, or turn 2 with the aid of some DRS then? And in the background we've got Reflection and Winnie in the fight for P4. They're potentially soon to be P3 with the penalty situation. Then Reflection checking for moves, not quite then. Balint is right behind as well. Then, but here comes Reflection then with the DRS then on the power. Then can he get himself through? Oh, he's gone off the circuit. Then goodness me, Balint's gone through. Mushroom's going to go through as well. Then there's a spin there. The Rosa Sky's also off the circuit as well. Then Reflection back underway. But goodness me, and where is he then? Has he got himself back on the way ahead of Marsky? Then he has just about there, but he's dropped down to P8 then. Reflection, the championship leader then, has had a bit of a problem there. And there's yellow flags ahead as well. Then goodness me, what's happened then? It's Balint. Balint's had an issue as well, and at turn 4 then he's back underway. But I don't think he's lost out anything there as well then for Balint. But my goodness me, the lap cars then, I think I've caused a bit of a kerfuffle. And San has had an issue then. San needs to finish the race then if he wants to get the fastest lap point. He can't get himself DNF then in this Grand Prix. As we go through then, Serious Mushroom's past Balint as well. There's Balint disconnected or something. What's going on for Balint then? As we go through, he's dropped down to P7. Then goodness me, Reflection could get himself into P7. As Hungary Styles, sorry, I've missed it completely. Hungary Styles has won the Hungarian Grand Prix. Fantastic from Styles, and he was so far in front, I missed it. But Styles has done a fantastic job then to take the win then from pole position to checkered flag. Then Styles wins in Hungary then. What a drive then for the Racing Bull team then, and what a win.
Ez undorít ezért.